Hello everyone, welcome to Study Guide Forum. Today we'll be looking at some of the similarities between the um, reproductive organs of reproduction in a fish and bird and some other vertebrates. In fact, we'll be looking at some of the vertebrae to look at to compare and contrast some of the uh, reproductive features. So for this here, you can find out that we're looking at the similarities that exist between the fish and the bird. That the fishes and the birds, both of them, both the fish and the bird, they are all oviparous. Oviparous in the sense that they all lay eggs. They are all they all what? They all lay eggs, and their egg have their eggs have yolk for nourishment of their embryo. They have eggs with yolk which help to nourish the embryo, because most time since they lay egg, there will be no constant supply of nutrients from the parent like what we have in the mammals. So because these ones are lay is that they lay their eggs outside the body, they make sure the system make sure there's enough nutrients that will support them to their maturity. And the next one we have their embryo develop outside the female body. It does not stay inside the female body like what we have in the mammal. They stay inside. Rather, the embryo, all of them, they are laid off. Once they are laid off, they will stay there until they develop, not inside the female body. Now they have some differences. In fishes, what we have in the fishes is that fishes they lay tiny eggs. They lay tiny eggs, while the birds lay large eggs, but not too many like what we have in the fish. So another one is that fertilization in fish is what? External. That is, the fertilization happens outside the body. Since they are aquatic animals, so they don't have problem of dryness. So their fertilization occur outside. And then in the birds, fertilization occur internal because they live in a dry environment. Some of them live in a dry environment. In fact, in land there is no consistent available of water in some areas. So their fertilization is mainly internal. So another one we have here is that the embryo develop for the fish. The embryo develops in an aquatic environment, while that of the birds they develop on land. They develop on land, and then in the fish there is no parental care. They don't take care of their um, young ones, while in the birds they show some levels of parental care. So the next thing we're going to do now, we're going to go into some other vertebrae. So this time we'll be looking at another one. We'll be looking at here is differences between reproduction in fishes and mammals. Now, fishes and mammals, the fish, they are oviparous, while the mammal is viviparous. That means they don't lay eggs; they produce their own alive, while this other one they lay eggs. Now, in fishes, they have many tiny eggs, while the ovary only produce few eggs, very few ones. So, and in the fishes, they exist in aquatic environments, while in the mammals, the female parents, they exist in the female parents uterus. That's the womb. That is where their own is residing. And in this other one, in the fishes, their reproduction external, while in the mammals the reproduction is internal. The next one, then number 5, the efficiency is low in the fishes while efficiency is high in the mammal. Another thing you should also note here in the mammal is that the mammals, they don't have yolk. They have tiny yolk at the beginning, but then at the end of the day, after fertilization, the yolk will disappear and they continue to supply food, nutrients to their embryo or the fetus inside until maturity through the placenta that links the fetus and the mother. So, but in the fishes, they have they have the yolk that's constantly that can supply food, enough food that can keep them since they are not inside the body of the female fish. So that's another thing you can also note there. And there are similarities that both of them are what? Both of them are methods of what? Methods of reproduction. And then both of them create environment for embryo development. That is, they create environment for the embryo to develop. That's embryo development. That's so that the embryo will develop to maturity. And both of them are product of fertilization. All those things you notice is once there's fertilization, the process starts. So the next one we're going to look at now is the reproduction, the similarities, and differences between the vertebra and the plants. That's what we're going to look at now. So just wait a minute while we go down to that. So we're looking at now the differences and similarities between reproduction in vertebra and flowering plants. So for the vertebra, they are not bisexual, while the flowering plant, they are bisexual. In flowering plants, two parents are involved. That means they are always involved like that constantly. While in flowering plants, one or two parents might be involved. And the gametes in a vertebra, they can move. That means they are motile. They can move around. And while the flowering plants, they cannot move. For the vertebrates, they don't have dominant stage. That means, remember, in plants, they have a dominant stage. In plants, when the seed is formed, they will stay for something. They will stay a certain period of dormancy before they are able to get a favorable environment that will help them grow. Because if there is no favorable environment, they will remain in dormant state until the time opportunity comes. Maybe presence of water, all the conditions are met. With presence of water and all rest of them, oxygen and whatever. Once the conditions of germination, the condition required for the germination is met, then they can then start their development. But in vertebra, the such thing does not happen. Once they are produced, they are active, they start moving around. So, but then in the similarities, both of them are what form of reproduction. That is what I think I can leave you with here. So the next one we want to look at now, we are going to compare mammals and the birds. So the differences between the differences and similarities between the reproduction in birds and mammals. Now, the birds are the oviparous, while the mammals are viviparous. The embryo of these birds develop in a large amniotic egg, while that of the mammal develop in the uterus of the female. The birds are less developed. Their reproductive system are less developed, while that of the mammals are highly developed. So the similarities is that both of them are method of reproduction. They are all found. Number two is that they are all found in the invertebrates. And then finally, both of them show parental care to their young. So that's the basic thing about these um, organisms or animals. Thank you so much for being part of the class, and we hope to hear from you. You can leave your comments to tell us how you feel about the class today, and then you can also subscribe if you have not. Thank you so much.